Okay, everybody, so we're going to talk about the Septuagint today, and it's a weird word maybe, but it simply means 70, and you'll see why in your notes. So, uh, this very simply is the Greek written version of the Hebrew Bible. So, everything that we've talked about, what we talked about last time, you've got the Hebrew Bible, but then you just translated into Greek, and that's essentially what this is. Now, the Septuagint did include all of the books that we have talked about before, which means it includes the Apocrypha as well. So, this is essentially the Bible that the early Christians would have in front of them as they're writing the New Testament. And so, whenever they quote the Old Testament, they're using the Septuagint typically to quote it. We'll talk about a couple of things in terms of where the Septuagint came from and the translation process for this lesson. What we want to keep in mind in particular is that last part, the translation. So there are some, we've talked about this before, but there are some elements about translation that are difficult. And when we're trying to understand something, typically we want to do a translation first so that we can then interpret it. So if somebody gives me a line in Hebrew, I want to be able to translate that and then interpret its meaning. However, this is difficult because, as you'll see in your activities, no two languages translate perfectly or exactly. And so we have to, when we're making decisions on translating, we have to do some interpretation just in order to translate. So we want to translate in order to interpret, but we have to interpret in order to translate, and so it's sort of tricky to get it all right. We'll see more about that as you go. So yeah, the Septuagint. Let's talk about it.